In today's episode, you want every request go through you? Okay. Thousands of dollars turn to rocks. Don't come back here until you can afford passage. Okay, but we'll be back sooner than you think. So let's get started. You want every request go through you? Okay. I work in a law firm and my job is to prepare legal documents for our clients. We have one client who recently hired an expat to work as its new general manager, whom shall we call Mr. Know-It-All. We never had problems with the logistics with this client before he came along. His first order of business was to email us the following. Dear law firm, as the new general manager of client, I want all the legal documents being requested by our employees go through me first. I know it is not the standard procedure in our company to copy furnish me when they email you, but do BCC me for every request they send you. All legal documents will now only be made or reviewed upon my approval. We initially complied with his instructions, but it takes days before he gave his approval. Now, I have been working with this client for over 5 years, and I know what documents are time sensitive. So, I drafted the urgent documents and BCC'd him with a note that states kindly secure Mr. Know-It-All's approval prior to the execution of this document. After of doing this with some of the request, I received an email from Mr. Know-It-All which states, Hey cold beanie person 2. Didn't I tell you that all requests should go through me? No matter how small or urgent it is, I want you to ask for my approval. No exceptions. Please do use the final document I sent you. I don't care about the legal parlance of your country, I want it worded my way. Also, I want all the emails sent by our employees to you printed and handed to me, including those made prior to my employment in the company. Now on to the malicious compliance. What Mr. Know-It-All doesn't know is that contracts must be worded in conjunction with our laws. Authorization must contain words that use specific words required by the government agency you are dealing with, and so on. We also bill our clients per page regardless of what it is, we consider it billable. I followed his instructions to the letter. You want every request even if it's urgent go through you? Sure. You want contracts worded your way? Sure. You want authorization worded your way also? Sure. You want all the emails printed? Sure. The results? Contracts that are up for renegotiation and renewal were late or gets rejected by the other party due to Mr. Know-It-All's wording, and it cost the client some money. Some government agencies didn't honor some of the letter of authorization, which also cost the client some money. Printed emails also cost the client money. But one particular email I received a few minutes before I go home was worth the malicious compliance. Dear cold beanie person 2. We would like to request for the attached documents to be made. This will be used for Mr. Know-It-All's working visa. We weren't able to apply for his visa due to the lockdown. We only have until tomorrow to submit the documents. Knowing Mr. Know-It-All wouldn't reply to emails I send him at least a day after, I requested for his approval the next day. They ended up submitting the documents late and Mr. Know-It-All got fined for it, but not enough for deportation. The client racked up a hefty bill for 1 month, but Mr. Know-It-All toned down after that. Thousands of dollars turned to rocks. First time poster on this sub and on mobile. I work for a large chain hardware store. Also important to note that I don't get yelled at work. Most people don't yell at some with my body size and composition. Today we had trucks drop off some concrete and non-treated lumber for the building materials department. I work in this department. Both of these categories of product cannot get wet. If they do, they cannot be sold or must be sold at reduced price. The bundles of wood and pallets of concrete are unloaded shortly before I get to work and clock in the afternoon to work a closing shift. So I arrive and all this product is outside. This is normal. I check the weather and have about 3 hours until rain is forecast. Okay, it will be close, but I can get it done in the time frame. So I begin. I bring inside a few pallets while also helping customers. We are mildly understaffed today. Well, Mr. Manager says the pallets cannot be inside because they block the aisles. This is the issue, we don't have enough employees in my department to work product and help customers. He is correct about policy saying not to block the aisles, but we do this all the time so we can work together on product and help customers. Doing both is part of the job. I wanted a clear answer, my associates and I all want a clear answer. So 30 minutes into me working, it begins to absolutely downpour with crazy lightning, about 2 hours before it was forecast in the weather. So instead of all the product being inside, it was outside, so it would not block an aisles. I normally would not let this happen and just bring it inside and take getting chewed out. But today I figured if I was going to get chewed out, I was going to get chewed out for following the rules. So product is outside and it's raining sideways. Manager now is not happy. The forklift is also outside and covered in rain only because he doesn't like it being inside, and half of the lumber and concrete is already toast. He then asked why it was all outside in the rye. I reminded him about what he told me, and also reminded him about the operating procedures that he was angry with me for not following the previous times I have blocked aisles with product to keep it out of the rain. At this point 50% the concrete bags are saturated through and begin to harden into just big rocks. And all the MDF and particle board is blistering and falling apart. So he gets to explain why the store had a couple thousand in markdowns today to his boss. And his boss like me, so I doubt any of this will even come back to bite me. Feels good. Don't come back here until you can afford passage. Okay, but we'll be back sooner than you think. A lot of this story has been passed down and translated across Italian to English, to whatever version of that my mom speaks, so forgive me ahead of time for any formatting and lost in translation moments. Love you, Ma. This is about my great-grandparents, Mario and Maria, and their young son Pasquale as they attempt to come to America. My great-grandfather and grandmother had been falling on hard times in the early 1900s in Italy, and have been trying for close to 2 years now to attempt to get tickets to board a ship, any ship, a shoebox, that could get them to America. It wasn't exactly their lifelong dream, but when Maria got pregnant they made the decision that they needed to go to freedom. After trying everything, in early 1912 Mario finally decides to just go to the shipyard in Gattinava, Italy to see what he can drum up. He was hoping to get a ticket by any means possible. The area was absolutely bustling with many people boarding ships, looking around, some smiling, some crying. He was a very talented carpenter and wanted to see if he could build something for someone. He was even looking on the ground to see if someone dropped a ticket. He was desperate. He finally decides to offer his services or to work on the boat to someone looking like they are an important person about the shipyard. The man, turning around, says, "You dirty man, I see you running around our ships all day, get out of here. Don't come back until you can afford passage." Enter malicious compliance. As angry as Mario was at this man, he didn't want to anger the only one, in his eyes at the time, that could stop him from boarding besides money. He went back home, tail between his legs, and kept plugging away in his hometown of somewhere, northern Italy. Fast forward to late April, 1912. The Titanic sank, the demand for traveling by ship has diminished significantly. He gets tickets for all three to board for like a tenth of the price, and affordable finally. He came back with 3 tickets in hand, waving like a giddy schoolgirl when he saw the man who insulted him, saying, "Hey dirty man, I came back." The shipman had the look of a man who lost all of his business in 1 month. America, here we come. Thanks, great-granddad. Thanks for watching.